Public broadcasting no longer has public funding, ironically enough, because Trump did that. Fantastic. Everything is just like, everything is great. Things are going perfectly fine, dude. It's awesome. Anyway, speaking of things that make no sense, let's get back to Donald Trump. Trump fires Federal Reserve governor.
Trump taking an extraordinary step against the nation's central bank, saying he's firing Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors, the first time a president has ever attempted to fire a Fed governor. The president announcing he's seeking to remove Cook in a letter posted on social media, accusing her of falsifying records to obtain favorable terms on a mortgage. The president writing, "I have determined there is sufficient cause to remove you from your position." Cook, who has not been charged with a crime, firing back, saying the president has no authority to fire her and that she will continue to carry out her duties, saying point blank, "I will not resign." The president does have the authority to fire a Fed governor for cause, but it's not clear the president's justification will be enough, and the Federal Reserve is an independent agency. The president pointing to allegations first made by Director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, Bill Pulte, that Cook committed mortgage fraud. Pulte says he referred the case to the Justice Department. It's a similar allegation President Trump and his administration have made against political adversaries in recent months, targeting New York Attorney General Letitia James over real estate records and accusing Democratic Senator Adam Schiff of mortgage fraud. Trump himself was convicted of falsifying business records. Democrats blasting the move. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries claiming the president is trying to remove her without a shred of credible evidence that she has done anything wrong. Cook is the first black woman to serve on the Fed board. Her term runs until 2038. Just last week, the president calling for her resignation.
I'll fire her if she doesn't resign.
For months, the president has railed against the Fed, calling for the bank to lower interest rates and attacking Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
I think it does a terrible job.
So the president cannot fire a Federal Reserve governor simply over disagreements over interest rates. The president has to establish cause. Cook says that she does plan to fight this. If she does in court, this could make its way all the way up to the Supreme Court. And George, of course, it is worth noting that presidents have had their disagreements about interest rates, but they've always traditionally respected the independence of the Fed. And some experts warn what this could do to the central bank and the independence of it if the president does succeed, George.
Absolutely. Okay, Rachel, thanks very much. On another front, the president has also threatened to send the National Guard into other Democratic cities led by Democrats like Chicago. That drew a sharp response from the governor of Illinois.
This is not about fighting crime. This is about Donald Trump searching for any justification to deploy the military in a...
I can't stand the centralization of power and authority taking place under a fascist leadership, dude. All the way down to like the whole, you know, purchasing, the government taking over like 10% of Intel and shit. It's so goddamn annoying. How come he gets to do it? How come he gets to do it, but God forbid anybody else? Anybody else that suggests it, it's like, nope. Yeah, I know the YouTube was way louder than my voice. I know. I'm going to lower the audio on YouTube and readjust it. Listen, I don't like the Federal Reserve, but he has no power to fire her, and it seems like he's only doing it because she's black and can't fire Jerome Powell. I mean, he can't do it anyway. It doesn't matter. But it is still annoying that he's trying, and there's no penalties for it. This should be an important lesson for other people, you know. On the one hand, we got who is actively deploying the military to major American cities, okay, doing a forcible fascist takeover of the nation. On the other hand, Zoran wants to build 5 pilot-tested grocery stores to give people of New York affordable groceries. And people freaked the out. Of course, it's supposed to be, it's expected. It's expected that like any kind of centralized authority would only come with a fascist initiative. It just would not happen under... we would never entertain this kind of thing to, I don't know, push for socialized medicine or whatever, right? That's what I mean when I say this shit pisses me off. Like, it makes me a little jealous because, like, I know any sort of movement in the opposite direction is going to obviously shake things up. Problem is, both the liberals and the Republicans, liberal Democrats, and also the Republicans all the way to far right Republicans are actively against that kind of shakeup if it's done at the direction of improving the material conditions of the working class. But it seems like we have an endless amount of charity and opportunity to do this exact same thing in the direction of growing fascism in the country.
Blue city in a blue state to try and intimidate his political rivals.
One of the questions is the president going to go through with it?
Yeah, the president has not said if he does plan to go through with it and deploy the National Guard to the streets of Chicago. But Pritzker was very clear there, saying that they do not need to come there. He says that he would plan to challenge this if the president does proceed with this. It is worth noting, George, that homicide is down roughly 50% over the last 4 years in the city of Chicago, George.
Rachel Scott, thanks.
Serious note, when it comes to Fed Governor Lisa Cook, her lawyer has said that they're going to be filing a lawsuit challenging this legal action. What is your response? Are you prepared for a legal fight? And then a little bit more.
Oh, sure, always. You always have legal fights. Look, I had a legal fight that went on for years with crooked people, with very horrible people, people that have been found out now between John Ratcliffe and Tulsi and Pam. And I mean, the things that we found out, of course, it's a very, very sad group of people. But no, she seems to have had an infraction, and she can't have an infraction, especially that infraction, because she's in charge of, if you think about it, mortgages, and we need people that are 100% above board, and it doesn't seem like she was. Yeah.
That's crazy. The rest of the... Dude, this 1 minute and 16-second video in and of itself is also a perfect indication of the times, where literally the first 40 seconds is Donald Trump reacting to the Fed's Lisa Cook vowing legal action against being fired. And then the other half of the video is PBS begging for money because federal funding for public media has zeroed out. Public broadcasting no longer has public funding, ironically enough, because Trump did that. Fantastic. Everything is just like, everything is great. Things are going perfectly fine, dude. It's awesome. There is still quite a crime issue in Chicago. Someone got mugged outside my building at 9 a.m. on a Thursday. What? Yeah, I guess we should deploy the military then. What do you mean? Damn, bro. Crime happened in Chicago. Dude, we should nuke it. That is low-key how Americans operate, though. That's why Israel is such a perfect ally, because Americans are spiritually Israeli, and Israel as a nation state is spiritually American, okay? I saw a crime take place. That means we have to use the most muscular militant approach that we physically possibly can and blow up a hospital in the process. Just, you know, one for the road. It, dude. Throw in the F-35s in there. What are we doing? Counterpoint, I just walked from my office in the train without a single mugging, so the crime rate in Chicago is 0%. Well, that person got owned. All of a sudden, crime rate is 0.